Dalton employees without life insurance after premiums go unpaid. That's not good. Mayor Tiffany Henyard skips the meeting. So had a meeting with their mayor pro tem, Jason House, and got a situation where the insurance broker is up giving her presentation and basically just kind of goes through the information and says, yep, and your policy was canceled for all of your employees here in Dalton because, we were in contact with the mayor and mayor's office, and you guys didn't make your payments. Everybody's just looking around going, what are we doing? All right, one more issue. And Henyard wasn't even there. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Good evening, guys. We heard tonight about life insurance lapsing last year for 150 village employees, with Trustee Jason House vowing to get to the bottom of it. Now, he is running for mayor, going up against embattled incumbent Tiffany Henyard. She has already been booted from the ballot for Thornton Township Supervisor and is hoping to retain her title here in the village, but she was a no-show tonight.
I expect that we'll have a peaceful meeting and we'll do things in a dignified way.
Dalton trustee and mayoral candidate Jason House speaking briefly with WGN before tonight's meeting, telling us exactly what he plans to do if he's selected to lead the village.
We want to make sure we restore civility. We say we're changing the narrative of Dalton. That's going to be the culture, and make sure we bring the community back into what we're doing.
Tiffany Henyard.
For those of you in doubt with what a well-run meeting would look like, where we don't have screaming and yelling and blaming and just a bunch of finger pointing and people fighting, activists and boyfriends and, just craziness. Last night's meeting in the Village of Dolton was just that. And what the beautiful thing to me was, it's a preview. It's a preview of what Dalton could look like with Clean House 2025. I mean, you got it right there. There's no guessing. It's already being done. It's right there. So I think, if there's any way that Tiffany Henyard, you could, take that terrible attitude of yours and that finger pointing, blaming and all that nonsense and just stay home. Village is getting way more done without you. So, you know what I mean? But no, that's not going to happen, is it? That's not going to happen. Tiffany Henyard will go down in flames, one way or the other. Let's keep going.
Not present after previously vowing not to come without added security. Dalton police were here, wanting at least some of those who arrived. After 12 minutes spent waiting for Henyard, things got underway, an almost jovial atmosphere amongst the crowd.
And when you get sworn in, I'm that crazy aunt you never had, and I'm going to be there cheering you on.
Folks at the podium urged neighbours to get out and vote after a turbulent year under Henyard's tenure.
The light has been shining on the roaches, and the roaches have scattered.
Tonight, a stark contrast from last Tuesday in Thornton Township, when bad blood spilled over into a brawl.
Jeez.
In the thick of it was the self-proclaimed super mayor Henyard.
There she is.
Bringing into action as her boyfriend and a community activist came to blows. Further revelations coming to light tonight, with news that life insurance lapsed for some village employees last year.
Between 100 to 150. They mentioned that there is going to be a renewal. We insist that they have it. This is a benefit that our employees are entitled to, so we want to make sure they have.
Now, election day here in the village is February 25th, so we're about 3 weeks out. A third candidate, Cassandra Hobson-Jordan, also not present tonight, to our knowledge. We're in Dalton. Brona Tumulty, WGN News.
Now, while California is cracking down on crime with tougher penalties under Proposition 36, it's clear that we're living in uncertain times, economically and socially. So with inflation climbing, government debt piling up, and policy shifting overnight, the real question is, how do you protect what you've worked so hard to build? It's exactly why I trust Lear Capital, sponsor of today's video. To help secure my savings with gold and silver, Lear Capital has been a trusted name for over 27 years, handling $3 billion in transactions and earning thousands of 5-star reviews. They make investing in gold and silver simple and secure. In times like these, when crime is rising and government policies are unpredictable, precious metals are one of the most reliable ways to safeguard your wealth. Don't wait until it's too late to take action. Call Lear Capital today at 855-271-1871 or visit trylear.com. Dalton.com/reasonable to get your free wealth protection kit. No obligation, just the information you need to shield your savings from inflation and instability. And here's the best part. If you open a qualified account, Lear Capital will give you up to $15,000 in bonus coins to help you get started. That's 855-271-1871. Take control of your financial future today and make sure your money is as secure as your values. Dalton activists march miles to Pritzker's home, calling on governor to act on embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Jedediah Brown did a march. I don't know if they started at the meeting, village board meeting, following the village board meeting. After trustees learned that life insurance policy for all village employees was canceled for non-payment, they walked like about 3 hours from what I can tell. Jedediah Brown's live stream, he was the only one marching at the end. He was the only one going. I mean, you're talking like midnight in Chicago. How cold is it? I mean, cold. No wonder he's barely able to finish. The cops had to come and help him out. I mean, just frozen. Guy's frozen. Just cold. So, that happened. I don't know if that's going to do anything. People are asking for the governor to step in. I don't know. I say you just kind of let this go as it's going, because you've got some movement here. You've got an election coming up. You got all kinds of stuff happening. Do you want the governor to step in and pull her out now? What does that look like? How long would that take? Maybe you just let things roll. Dalton trustees learned Monday village employees have been without life insurance since the summer, but promised to restore coverage. Now, what I would say there is this is nothing new. Remember in Lori Lightfoot's report on the 4 major categories? This is life insurance for Village of Dolton employees, period. Think about that. And then you've got the Township of Thornton. You basically lost their coverage of multiple different things, insurance policies, because of non-payment, because they didn't pay the bills, because they couldn't get their act together. Not because they didn't have the money, but because of non-payment. I mean, this is just embarrassing. This is, basic business skills. Get those payments made, because insurance, they have a little thing called renewal. And if you don't get it done in time, I don't think so. And if you've got a bunch of court cases like the 48 that are associated with Tiffany Henyard in the Township of Thornton, 48, insurance companies just say, no, I don't think so. We're not so interested in we're not interested in underwriting Tiffany Henyard. And they explicitly took her out and said, no, we're not covering her, which really raises some questions of, her ability to move forward as a leader. The news caught trustees by surprise at their meeting while voting to renew health insurance coverage, although the cost for that has increased. Life insurance for more than 100 employees ended last August because premiums hadn't been paid, trustees were told. A representative for the village's employee insurance consultant. So it's a broker. They get all your information together. They package it up. They send it out to a bunch of different insurance companies. Insurance companies come back to the broker. The broker looks at them all and tells the client, which is the Village of Dolton, hey, here are your options. And that's what they do. So that person said that messages about the termination of life insurance had been relayed to village administration, including Mayor Tiffany Henyard. So Tiffany Henyard knew about this. Her admin knew about this. But the other folks, not so much. And that is the transparency that Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle keep talking about. Hey, we're not getting any information. What's going on? What's the dealio? What's happening? Oh. And then with the super mayor not being present, I mean, you just got nothing. You got nothing. Henyard didn't show up for the regularly scheduled village board meeting where she had included appointments for police chief and village attorney on the agenda. Of course she had. She's just trying to get together whatever political clout she can. So she's trying to stack things her direction. It's not going all that well. Every single time she turns around, she's losing in court. It's getting in a fight. She's got something crazy going on. I mean, it's just an absolute train wreck. Trustee Jason House, who served as pro tem president, said afterward, he and other trustees would find out how notification failed to make its way to trustees. Now, you'd think that might not be a big deal. I think it's a huge deal because it basically indicates communication from Tiffany Henyard and her folks didn't make it to the next layer, which is the trustees. They have a right to know, hey, the policy for your employees got canceled. None of your employees in Dalton have life insurance, or a good percentage of them. I don't know how many employees are in Dalton. You know what I mean? But it sounds like over 100 and maybe less than 150. Can't be that many employees in Dalton, right? But whomever they are, yeah, life insurance canceled. Nice, right? You're working your ass off and you're thinking you're all good, you're all covered. And in reality, not so much, because Tiffany Henyard and co. couldn't get their act together to get the renewal, to get it paid, to just pay for insurance. So how the information about the cancellation failed to make its way to trustees, that's a good question, Jason House told reporters. It was the last village board meeting before the village's February 25th Democratic primary, in which House is challenging Henyard in her bid for a second term. If Jason House doesn't win this election in general, in a massive, massive landslide, that's on you, Dalton. Literally, that is on you. If you guys can't work out what's best for your village, then, I'm all sitting all the way here in Seattle, Washington, right? Upper left USA. You guys are in Chicago, not Seattle. And if I can sit here, and I've been to Chicago one time in my life, and if I can figure out, all right, this is better for this Village of Dalton to have Jason House, if I can figure that out just by watching YouTube and interacting with folks, it's not that hard of a call. Now, where that goes sideways is Tiffany Henyard has given out a bunch of stuff to her followers, but her followers can't be more than a couple hundred, right? So this should be an absolute runaway landslide. Here's another couple interesting tidbits here. Let's get my little yellow thing going. All right. On the agenda were appointments by Henyard of Daryl Stroud as the village's police chief and Max Solomon as village attorney. I don't know anything about Daryl Stroud, but whenever Tiffany Henyard throws out somebody for a position, for an appointment, I'm like, nope, that's going to be a terrible call. Nope. And then Max Solomon. I mean, village attorney? I don't think so. Anybody associated with Tiffany Henyard, from her individually choosing, I would say hard no-go. Solomon is representing Henyard in at least 2 lawsuits, including one involving the location of village board meetings. You got so many lawsuits, and the supermayor is uninsurable. She is literally uninsurable. No motions were made Monday to approve the appointments, and House said after the meeting, trustees had not received any information about their background or credentials. Got nothing. It's just Tiffany Henyard throwing out, hey, let's do this. This would be a good idea, because she's trying what she can, and it's going to go nowhere. Let's check out WGN 9. During the meeting, it announced life insurance lapsed in August for as many as 150 village employees. Trustee and mayoral candidate Jason House is vowing to get to the bottom of it. They literally didn't know that this was the case because they don't have access to that information. Now, Tiffany Henyard and co. are going to say, oh, we told you guys. What do you think we're doing? That's why we're trying to get all this stuff on insurance together. Well, how's that working out? If you're an employee of Dalton, how are you feeling about that? Who are you going to blame? I don't think these folks aren't sitting there on the, Village of Dalton board, on the white tables, the white Costco tables. They're not sitting there going, oh, good Lord, they found out about us, that we canceled the policy. They're sitting there going, what? What do you mean the life insurance policies are canceled? Huh? What? And more so, it's like it's one more policy that's been canceled. This is not the first time. Been multiple instances of this. Lori Lightfoot has brought that up. House spoke briefly with WGN News before Monday's meeting, talking about, some of that stuff, revealing exactly what he plans to do if he's elected, when he's elected. Let's think positively, people of Dalton. I've gotten zero skin in the game here. I'm in Bellevue, Washington, a suburb outside of Seattle, right? But I think the people of Dalton deserve better. I think the township of Thornton constituents deserve better. That's why I'm covering this. Because, it's a story that everybody's interested in. And I think there is a happy ending. There's some huge holes. There's a big financial hole Dalton's going to have to crawl out of. But I think over time, some things can be done. Lots of other villages, lots of other townships, lots of other, cities, towns, whatever, across the United States come out of holes worse than this. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass, and you're going to have some rough times. You're going to have to probably make some cuts to get, in a position where you're back on your feet again. So Henyard was not present Monday, vowing not to come without added security. She's always complaining about security. And yet, isn't she the one that was just absolutely WWE diving into the fray with Jedediah Brown and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods? Wasn't she literally just like body slinging into the crowd? I mean, her wig came flying off and she lost her shoe and, she's just right in the heart of it. But she needs more security? I mean, if you're worried about security, you ain't jumping into a big fight like that. No. Dalton police officers were on hand, keeping tabs on folks as they arrived. But, and they all got wanded down. They got wanded down before the big fight broke out as well, right? After almost 12 minutes spent waiting for Henyard, the meeting with almost jovial atmosphere. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I think people are feeling a little bit more positive about the way things are going and maybe the way things could work down the road. Folks at the podium urged neighbors to get out and vote after a turbulent year under Henyard. Okay, so in one of the accounts, 9.5% of the population voted. Was that the Village of Dolton? I can't remember if it was Dalton or Township of Thornton. No, Township of Thornton, she was appointed because the other guy died. Right? Frank Zaccarelli. So she won the Village of Dolton. I believe she won the Village of Dolton mayor role with a turnout of 9.5% of the voting public. I mean, that is horrific. 1 out of 10 of you guys voted. Need to do some more voting. Get some people to the online, on mail in. I mean, this is Chicago, right? It's got to be similar to Washington where you can mail in, you can go in, you can do whatever you want, but more than likely you're just going to mail that bad boy in. So Jason House kind of ends. We mentioned that there's going to be a renewal of the life insurance policies. We insist that they have it. This is a benefit that our employees are entitled to, so we want to make sure they have it, House said. All right. So as far as that kind of thing goes, I don't think there should be any problem with renewal because it's a life insurance policy. It's not based on the actions of the supermayor, whether they have, not made their payments in the past, they can get that renewed. There's got to be other options. What I'm saying is for a life insurance policy renewal for a municipality like the Village of Dalton, I don't believe the process is as difficult as getting liability insurance, which takes into account the risk that Township of Thornton or Village of Dalton has for a lawsuit to come through, of which TIF has 48 at the moment. That's what we found out last Monday from Mayor Lightfoot's report, right? So we've got a lot of good information. There's a path moving forward. People in Dalton, you need to get out there in your primary and your general election and just vote the heck out of it, right? Just get out there and vote. That's what you got to do. And then let Jason House run with it. And I think you are in, what was the, we're the good hands people. You're in good hands. Was that State Farm? You're in good hands. I always thought that was a weird thing. Okay, yeah, you're an insurance company. You're talking about wrapping your hands. I get it. But you're in good hands with Jason House, I believe. Clean House 2025. Yes, I think you guys should do that. But do what you want. Yeah, exciting times. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.